Okay, welcome everyone to the Monday, October 21st, 2024 Board of Trustees meeting. I would like to call this meeting to order. My first order of business is to take roll call. Susan Ainsley.
Present.
Wolfgang Bollmer. Present. Carolyn Greenwald.
Here.
And Kathleen Yen.
Here.
And Ronnie Hardaway. So we have quorum. Carolyn is zooming in tonight. The next order of business is public comment period. This is the period where, or the part of our agenda tonight where anyone who would like to speak on a topic that is not already on our agenda can speak. Is there anyone in attendance or online who would like to speak? Hearing none and seeing none, I will move that we close the public comment period.
Second.
Wolfgang seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have a guest with us tonight, and so to save him an evening, he's welcome to stay, of course. I am going to move the appointment of Devin Walker to the Board of Zoning Appeals up to before our public hearing meeting. So I will open up. I will make a motion that we consider appointing Devin Walker to the Board of Zoning Appeals. A second?
Second.
Susan seconds. Any discussion?
No. Thank you.
Devin, thanks for coming. Would you like to say anything?
I'm eager to serve and ready to learn, so I appreciate you all accepting me onto the Board of Zoning Appeals.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. Tell us briefly, for anyone listening or viewing the recording, a little bit about yourself, and thank you for coming forward and volunteering.
Yeah, so I'm relatively new to the area. I've been here for about 6 months, moved here from Chicago. There I was very involved in my community, looking to do the same here in as many ways as possible. Wasn't so involved with city government there, but I saw an opportunity here and decided to make that reality come true. So, like I said, I'm eager to serve and ready to learn and contribute. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's always nice to see young, new faces on our boards. And I think you'll find the other members of that board to be very pleasant, easy to work with. So I will move that, or is there any more discussion? Okay, then I will just say that all those in favor of appointing Devin Walker to the Board of Zoning Appeals, please say aye.
It's for a term that would expire May 2027.
Expired May 27, 2027. Thank you, Jody.
At that point, we can appoint you for 5 years again. But you're just in that term, so, when you're filling.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Devin, welcome. Welcome to the BZA. And you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting tonight. It's totally up to you.
Today's my partner's birthday, so.
Oh, yeah. You're better now.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
All right now. Have a good one.
Okay, we have a couple of minutes before we can open up our public hearing. So we'll just, how's everybody doing? Okay?
Enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
A little warm for fall today, but it was okay. No rain.
The colors are great.
Yeah, the colors are starting to come out. It's just been nice. I talked with our kids and grandkids earlier in Colorado, which was having like 90-degree temperatures.
Oh, wow.
About 10 days ago, it's finally starting to move down into fall there too. They were having a heat wave, so.
Global warning.
And just to remind you that I put the video up of us planting the bulbs and so forth. And,
Did.
yeah, they aren't up yet.
No, in the spring it will be. And they better be. The weather really confuses them. I've planted bulbs and they didn't bother to show up.
That was a lot of fun. actually. It was just an
It's
experience.
cold.
It was cold that day. It actually sleeted on us the last 10 or 15 minutes at Marion Hotel Park with the last little bit of bulbs. It was sleeting, not heavily, but it was hard rain.
It was just
Yeah,
bizarre
it was
that
crazy.
day, up and down.
But it,
Well, thank you for the stuff you put on the website also, the link to the mailbox, the Tompkins County postcard reminding
oh,
everyone.
yeah, those we should be seeing those in the mail pretty soon. The Post also has a link to the actual information online that you could bookmark in case you use your computer a lot, so, and you don't want to hang on to the card. Yeah, they had talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and finally, I said, be sure and send us a link to that. The only thing that irritated me was that the PDF version they sent me, none of the links in the document and on the card were live.
Oh, okay.
So that's,
But I actually did click on the village website, and I could actually view everything. So, yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's the time. It is 7:36, so I will call the public hearing on proposed local law A 2024, amendment of Village of Lansing Code zoning law to add a section on solar energy systems. And I will move that.
Second.
Susan seconds. So the public hearing is open. Is there anyone here or online who would like to speak about this proposed local law A? Hearing none, seeing none, I will move that we close the public hearing of proposed local law A.
Second.
Wolfgang, seconds? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, so the next step would be to propose a resolution for local law A, which would now become local law number 3, 2024, amendment of the Village of Lansing Code zoning law to add a section on solar energy systems. I will move this resolution.
Second.
Boy, that was a tie.
That was a tie.
It was Kathy Ainsley or Susan. I'm not sure.
You gave the tie to Susan last time.
Kathleen.
Listening longer. Red Schoolhouse where you had to press the button.
Thank you both. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion about this proposed local law? The resolution? Okay. Before we vote on it, I want to thank the entire village staff and all the boards just about who are involved in writing this law, making it better. Natalie and Peter obviously contributed a lot to this law, and I appreciate their work. That's all I really have to say. If there's no other discussion or questions, all those in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
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 One abstention or one nay?
Nay.
One nay.
In the current version, one nay.
Okay. Okay, we have 4 ayes to 1 nay, so the resolution passes. So thank you all again. All right, and we've appointed Devin. Okay, the next discussion, I hope you had a chance to read the information from Jay Franklin and Jody about the increasing our exemption limits for our low income, senior, disability, and veterans. Are there any questions about this?
The only thing I was going to say is, since Jay Franklin offered to come and address any questions, it might, and the deadline isn't till March 2025.
Yes, yeah.
It might be useful to put him on the agenda as a speaker in case the community had questions and wanted to hear more.
This would be a change to our local law, so we would have to open up a public hearing with the proposed changes also, right?
Yep,
But if you just wanted Jay to come and do like a Q&A, generally, you wouldn't need to do
A public
a
hearing.
public
for-
hearing for that. He could just be a speaker. But yes, if you want to change it by local law, we need to do the public hearing.
Okay, there's not a problem. We can,
do we have questions for him?
Yeah, that's, I would just make sure you
Because,
have
yeah,
questions.
so there was one question that Ronnie sent to me that I had answered, and there was a question as to whether a property owner can have multiple exemptions. And they can, however, if the property owner has a senior exemption, they can't have the disability exemption, and vice versa, as they have the same income requirements and the same benefits. A property owner can certainly have the veterans exemption and senior, or disability, but not both.
okay, all right.
So,
Right.
I mean, I don't know that it's necessary to have him come in unless you actually have questions. But we will have a public hearing, and if you want to have, when we have a public hearing, if you want to invite him to see if he'll come,
You're
I
right,
mean, we could always do that also.
all right,
But we're going to have to decide on levels
all right,
and then come up with a local law.
to change.
Which we'll have to bring to you, and then we'll have to set a public hearing, and then you have to have the public hearing. So I mean, we have this whole process
Right.
that we have to go through.
Yeah, it's just like
So-
practically what we've done for the solar law. So,
Because it is in our codification, chapter 129.
Right.
So since it is part of that, it has to be a local law.
Correct. No, I totally agree and understand that. I just thought it might be useful if he was available in the next couple of board meetings to just have him as a speaker, just to sort of raise awareness in the community in case there were questions.
perhaps our steps would be tonight, do we want to come up with the exemption levels that we want to change to? And those could be changed within, as the draft version of the law. And at the next meeting, we could discuss that and decide whether to hold a public hearing, and maybe that one would be a good meeting for him to come in case there are any additional questions, and/or the public hearing. I don't think Jay would have a problem, we would just have to schedule it with him. Does that sound like a plan?
I think it's a good plan,
I think we should have him come during the public hearing.
yeah.
I think you guys should decide what you want to do. And that way, because right now, there's no questions.
Right, yeah, we
Right.
don't know what it is.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't want to waste his time when he comes and we don't have any questions for him.
right,
You know, that's, yeah.
yeah. Well, if we don't come up with any questions before we set the public hearing that he needs to answer.
Plus, it's really easy to email him and he gets right back and gives you a
Right.
good answer, so.
Right,
Well, he seems to.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, Jay's very,
He's very good.
Jay is very responsive. I have never not asked him a question and had an answer within an hour. This is
Yeah,
great.
he's away at conference right now, but there was the answer came from his next in command.
So for the exemption levels, does anyone have any preference on where we go? He made some proposals, proposal 1, proposal 2 for these, at least on the senior and disabled exemption limits. Do we want to go with 70,000 or 100,000 disability? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the veterans. Yeah.
Those numbers.
I'm sorry, the Ray was talking about low income, but the table was for the veterans, I'm sorry. We can talk about the veterans first. Do we want to leave them as is, or do we want to go to the proposal 1 levels or the proposal 2 levels? Can you give us an idea about the?
Is the county doing proposal 1 or 2?
They are doing proposal
Because really, it
One,
would
I
be
believe.
easy for everyone if it was the same.
the same.
Yeah.
I
Like
believe
if it
that they
was-
are doing the proposed 1.
Right.
With one.
Yeah, the 70,000.
And then the proposal 2 is the maximum you can do.
Yes. Any inputs? Do we want to go with the maximum proposal 2, or stay with the county same as proposal 1?
I would simple, stay with the county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn, do you have any input?
That's my inclination as well.
Okay. All right, so for the veterans, the limits will move for their combat or wartime exemption amount would be, the maximum amount would be 21,000. This is mislabeled, I believe, because mine says wartime combat zone and disability, but that's not the, it's usually just a veteran.
Veteran exemption.
Veteran exemption is, so that's, veteran is the wartime, okay. And then the combat, these numbers they don't look right. I would think if a veteran was in a combat zone, their
I'm
maximum,
always in a combat zone.
it could be an administrative veteran. That's interesting. So look, and let's see, I've got my copy of the,
I mean, we do list 3 under 129.23.
15, 10, 50. So
So
it
A, B,
is,
C.
yeah, so that is correct, okay. It's very strange. Okay, so the veterans, which is the subparagraph A, would be 21,000 maximum limit. For combat zone, which is subparagraph B, would be 14,000.
Why don't we look at our current law
Yeah, 129.
and just,
Put the numbers in?
yes,
Okay,
That's what I'm doing.
yes.
okay.
Yeah, because we shouldn't rewrite our law at all, we should just be able
Yeah.
to change the
Okay.
percentages, the dollar amounts.
Yeah.
As to go along with what the county is doing.
Okay. All right, I'll have to get a copy of this. I did not bring a copy of the law. So this would be on page 129009. Increase maximum exemption amounts, 129-23. So for the subparagraph A, 15,000 would become 21,000. The subparagraph B, 10,000 would become 14,000. Subparagraph C would go from 50,000 to 70,000.
And Natalie, when this is getting updated, would you just check the sections?
Yep.
Make sure that they're still.
They're all right, yep.
So I can just send you you want me to send you the Word document of this, and then you can.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Okay, so for the veterans section, I believe that's all we have to do. So then, go back to page 129007, senior citizens tax exemption. Do we want to I believe that the county went to the maximum on this, 36.5, according to Jay.
Proposal two.
Proposal 2. Does that sound appropriate to everyone?
Sticking with the county.
Okay. All right, so for this, then the table under subparagraph A, up to $36,500. And the numbers would go 36.5. Do we want to just refer to this?
Yep, they're
Jody, rather
Yep.
than do them all?
Yeah.
Because we
I'll
could
just
miss
plug
one.
that in.
Yeah, just plug in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So this is proposal number 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's the right number of lines, so we should be okay, 45. 50 is, okay, 45, 40, that's all the way to the rest of it is the same. Good. And the disability,
And 2911. That's the chart. There's a copy of the law over there if you wanted to follow along.
It's in here.
okay,
Yeah,
this is on page 129011, there's a table. So I think this table is to match exactly what we just passed for the senior citizens. The numbers should all be the same. And the same thing as they should be replicated within this table to match exactly what is in the table that Jay Franklin sent us. Okay. And Jody, you were saying that the impact to our tax would not be, our tax base would not be that
No.
significant, right?
When, with the first numbers that he gave us, it's what, under $1,000,
Okay,
which is,
yeah, that's, I think that's acceptable, and I think that's all we have to do for these changes.
so we'll just get that updated in the form of a law, and
Right. And we can probably have that ready for our first meeting in right?
for November 4th.
November
Yep.
4th, okay.
And like I said, if anybody has any more questions for Jay, just let me know and I can find out your answers.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. And the last topic, formal topic for tonight is the, decide on our energy supply contract, or limits, I'm sorry, energy supply contract with Hudson Energy Services. It looks like our best rates came from Constellation this time.
The village currently has an energy supply contract with Hudson Energy Services, and that's at 0.0685 cents per kilowatt hour. Progressive Energy Consultants gets us the best quotes, and they do all the research. And this year, the lowest fixed rate are with the
Constellation.
that rate is 0.07805 for 24 months, or 0.07666 for 12 months. That's for just regular, but if the village would like to go with the 100% green energy, then the price would go up to 0.07981 for 12 months, or 0.08161 for 24 months. And it's interesting because the quote that they gave us that was gonna be for last month, this rate actually went down from last month. So,
All right.
it was interesting, not much, but it did.
Every little bit
Down is
counts.
good. Down is good.
Does anyone have an opinion about whether we should go 100% green or stick with just the traditional or the basic cost?
So what's the advantage to the green,
Clean energy,
clean energy?
Clean energy, just more expensive.
it's always a little bit more expensive.
So do we want, does this count as being a clean energy community? I mean, if we should, just arguing, just a point. Is it worth it?
It's the same discussion that we would have for our personal, our residences. You know, is it worth more money to go green, or do you care more about cost? So I will let everyone else speak. Being on the Clean Energy Committee, CSC task
I know,
force,
that's why I'm asking.
I know where my feeling lies, but this is a trustee decision, so
Yeah.
all the opinions matter.
Ronnie, if we use clean energy, could we then pay for it with our grant?
Oh, my goodness.
We just keep trying to find a way to spend that grant money.
You're right. I can ask Jerry or Chris that question. My gut feeling is no, because it's not one of the normal projects. I think they're looking more for a project rather than an operating expense to pay for. This is one-time money, and it's not best practice to use one-time money for an operating expense. I will ask. My gut feel is that they will say no.
Just learned that at Nikon.
We did. I heard it several times. It would be nice if we could do that, but I suspect we can't and probably shouldn't. But it doesn't hurt to ask.
Jody, do you have a sense of the cost difference between the two over a billing period? Like what it would amount to?
No, I didn't run the numbers on that.
But you could, I mean, you could look at the difference between the current and, say, the green rate. And then you could look at last year's total kilowatt hour usage. And you can figure out what the percentage increase would be and extrapolate that the percentage increase would be about the same. Right?
Right.
Yep. Which actually, that's a pretty small delta. But it depends on how much you use, I guess.
We use a lot, especially streetlights.
Well, and streetlights, though, are a lot of just, we're charged for the equipment.
Yeah.
Not for the energy.
So ballpark, just a rough guesstimate.
I can't do that because I'd have to go through each bill and find out how much was actually spent on the energy part of it and not on the everything else. So.
And how about?
I think what we just said, sorry.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I think what we said last year was that if we were going to do the green more expensive, that we should do it via like community input, having the community tell us that that's what they wanted, which might come about through the questions we asked on the comprehensive plan survey. But right now we don't have word in the community that that's how they want us to spend their money.
When do we need a decision, Joe?
Today.
Okay.
And you're talking what, 0.003 cents?
I propose that we just keep it.
We were green last year, if anyone wants to know. We were green
Yeah.
last year, so.
We are seeing an increase in the rate, but we're accepting a little bit higher rate to go green. So I would say, yes, let's go green, but I will move that we decide on a 24-month contract with Constellation as our energy supplier at the 100% green rate of 0.08116 cents per kilowatt hour.
I second.
Susan seconds. Is there any discussion, yeas or just want to go to a vote? Okay, all of those in favor of going to the green rate, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? One abstention.
Kathleen, did you abstain?
Two abstentions. Carolyn, did you vote?
I voted in favor.
Okay, that's 3-2. That's majority, so it carries. Okay, thank you. Okay. So mayor's comments tonight, I really don't have any comments that I can think of that we need to be preparing for the next meeting. We will need to obviously get the public, the changes made to our tax exemptions, or Code Law 129. But beyond that, at this point, I really don't have any more comments tonight. So we'll go around the table. Wolfgang, do you have any?
Nothing.
Susan?
Leo got their funding, and youth services also got their over-the-target funding.
Okay.
So that's a good thing,
That's through the county, right?
through the county.
Yeah, okay. Anything else?
No,
Kathleen?
Well, the CSC, Climate Smart Community and the Clean Energy Committee did meet on the 17th with Lynn Leopold and Ronnie and myself, and Jerry Sheng from Cornell Cooperative Extension Liaison. And basically, Jerry gave an overview of the projects that could be funded, and we'll follow up with additional details and examples. And the smart growth funding could cover technical reports needed for comprehensive plan activities, zoning code update, gap analysis, that kind of stuff. I just gave a summary list of just the accomplishments from 2018 on that Jody puts on has on the website already abstracted, so it was easy to go through and just pick out the ones that were related. And the zoning code pieces. And then Lynn emailed the Tompkins County Water Quality Strategy, the most recent update, the 2022-24. And you reviewed the progress that has been made toward certification up to this point, and also raised the questions that were posed by the trustees on how the existing funds could be used. And one was, could it be used to purchase the clean energy solutions for homes? And NYSERDA won't fund giveaway or microgrant projects was basically the answer to that.
Right.
And then the other was regarding the LED lights, wiring installation costs that were not included in the contract for the DART and Graham improvements. And basically that could be, was the bottom line. Since the project had just been scoped as opposed to contracted with utility or contractor, it could be applied toward that. And then he did add that in addition to the option, additional options to landscaping equipment and the mowers. He provided some additional information on that. And then Town Board, November 6th is the Budget Board meeting. because they're on a January 1 fiscal year. Transportation Council, I think the deadline's November 1 for comments on that draft plan. It's the 2045 long-range transportation plan that you sit on. The resource guide, thanks for putting that on the website. Tompkins County Whole Health is partnering with Ithaca Reuse and Eco-Testing because October 20 to 26 this week is National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. And I always think of kids, and what they're doing is they're also having, you can bring a toy, an article in to get tested for lead. And a lot of people don't realize toys, painted things might, so it can be any object, dishes, etc. And that's 2:30 to 5 p.m. Tuesday, the 22nd, that's tomorrow. And they have the whole health, that's the old health department, mental health, has it on their, the CDC for more information, and National Center for Healthy Housing. And then Jeff Dunn from Emergency Response just sent a reminder that the November 13th, the Dryden Fire Department will be sponsoring and running a emergency response, basically emergency response training. And you can go to prepare.ny.gov. You do have to register for the in-person, but they've also got a calendar for in-person and online trainings all over the state. So, and the next Tompkins Core Advisory meeting is December 17th, 10 o'clock. Contact Jeff Bowles at Finger Lakes Independent Center.
Can we go back to what you said about the Climate Smart Community Grant? So we can use it, we can get some money for Jar Drive? Ronnie, is that correct? Did I hear that?
Only for LED lights we have not purchased yet. If there are future purchases for LED lights, the last number I heard from John was 7. I sent him an email and asked him to confirm that number. So they would pay for 7 of those lights.
And how much are each of those lights approximately?
John said $250 per light head.
Okay, well, it's only a tenth of the money, but let's get it.
Yeah, we don't have to do one project, we can do multiple projects, so we can at least get that. Once we have the final number, then we can propose that to NYSERDA.
Okay, well, it's not nothing.
No, that's something. Anything else, Kathleen?
No, I'll spare you.
Carolyn, do you have anything for us?
No, I just want to apologize for just being out again. I'm sorry.
Oh, we'll feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that time of year. Everyone, I guess, take care of yourselves. Lots of zinc and vitamin C. Carolyn and I, Lynn Leopold, Larry Bieri, Steve Lawson, and John Dennis will meet tomorrow morning here for a Town of Lansing / Village of Lansing trails discussion. We're trying to come up with one or more potential trail routes through the village so that down the road, once we start trying to put together an intermunicipal grant request, that we will have one or more paths chosen for that grant request. So we will be meeting tomorrow morning to discuss that for about an hour and a half, go over some maps. Beyond that, I don't have anything else. So.
And thank you to Lynn and Mike Baker for interviewing for the planning and zoning appeals.
The boards of
Yeah. And for their recommendation.
Yep. yeah, thank you all for that, and it looks like he will be a good addition to that, so. Unfortunately, BZA hasn't been meeting very much lately, but that's a good way for.
We might have one coming up, so.
We might have one, yeah, yes, never know. So anyway, if there's nothing else, then I will move that we adjourn.
Second.
Susan seconds, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I.
Thank you, good night. Everyone.